Every single day you wake up with two choices: remain the same or rise a little higher. And the truth is, transformation doesn't come from dramatic leaps. It comes from small, consistent steps, improving yourself just 1% every day. Do you know how powerful that is? Imagine adding just a tiny bit of strength, a touch more discipline, an extra drop of focus every single day. It might not feel like much at first, but those 1% improvements compound, they build, and before you know it, you're unrecognizable, stronger, sharper, wiser, unstoppable. But here's the thing, most people don't fail because they can't change. They fail because they demand instant results. They want the big win today, the perfect life tomorrow. And when it doesn't happen, they give up. That's weakness. Real strength is patience. Real growth is steady. When you choose to be 1% better, you're choosing the long game. You're choosing discipline over comfort. You're choosing to create a version of yourself that isn't built on shortcuts, but on power, endurance, and mastery. Think about it. If you waste today, you don't just lose one day. You lose momentum, you lose progress, you lose respect for yourself. But if you push yourself today, even slightly, you create proof that you can keep going, proof that you are stronger than your excuses. The person you want to become is not waiting at the finish line. That person is built in the daily habits you choose right now. Every workout, every page you read, every time you say no to distractions, every time you stand up for your standards, that's where the transformation happens. Improving 1% every day isn't about perfection. It's about direction. It's about being committed enough to say, I will not end this day the same way I started it. And let me tell you this, small changes create massive shifts. You won't even notice the growth at first, but others will. They'll see the discipline in your posture, the confidence in your voice, the focus in your eyes. They'll wonder what changed, and the answer will be simple. You did. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for motivation to knock on your door. Progress doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who demand it from themselves. Every single day, 1%. That's all it takes. Do it today, do it tomorrow, and do it again. And soon you'll realize you didn't just improve 1%. You improved your entire life. Small steps create big change. That's something most people refuse to believe because they want fireworks, they want drama, they want overnight success. But real transformation has never been about doing everything at once. It's about the tiny shifts you make, the ones no one sees, the ones that feel so insignificant at first, but over time they compound into something extraordinary. When you look at someone who's disciplined, powerful, confident, you might think they woke up one day and just became that person. No, they were built brick by brick, choice by choice, habit by habit. They weren't chasing perfection. They were chasing progress, even if it was just one small step each day. The reason most people fail is because they don't value small progress. They think, what's the point of reading a few pages? What's the point of a 10-minute workout? What's the point of waking up slightly earlier? The point is, that's how change begins. Change doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly, and only those who stay consistent will ever experience it fully. Think about it. One day of improvement won't transform you. But 100 days, 1 year, imagine what happens when you stack 1% every single day. You become unrecognizable, not because of one huge moment, but because of 1,000 tiny ones that added up. That is the power of small steps. But here's where people get stuck. They want validation. They want to see results immediately. And when the mirror doesn't show a new body after a week, when the business doesn't explode overnight, when the skills don't master themselves in a month, they quit. That's weakness. That's impatience disguised as ambition. If you truly want to evolve, you must understand this. Small steps demand faith. You have to believe in the process long before the results show up. Every little action you take is a seed. You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree tomorrow. You water it, you protect it, you nurture it. And one day, without even noticing, you look up and there's shade, there's fruit, there's growth. That's what your daily effort does. You may not see the results instantly, but the foundation is being laid every single day. Stop underestimating the power of small steps. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to make a massive leap. The truth is, you'll never feel ready. You'll never have all the time, all the energy, all the resources, but you always have today. You always have this moment. And if you can give even a little effort right now, that effort will stack. Most people don't get this, and that's why they remain average. They chase intensity instead of consistency. They give everything in one burst of energy, then collapse when it doesn't give them instant results. Don't be like that. Don't let impatience destroy your potential. Be the one who shows up even if it's just for a small step every single day, because eventually that consistency will crush any form of inconsistency, and the results will speak louder than excuses ever could. The beauty of small steps is that they teach you discipline. They rewire your brain to understand progress is possible. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you prove that you can be trusted. And when you trust yourself, you build confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from pretending you have it all figured out. Real confidence comes from proving to yourself, day after day, that you are capable of becoming better. And let me remind you, small steps are not weak. They are not insignificant. They are strategic, because when you learn to master the small, you prepare yourself for the big. If you cannot stay consistent with small progress, you'll never be able to handle the bigger challenges when they arrive. Small steps are training. They are the foundation that keeps you standing strong when life tests you. 1%. That's all it takes. Read one more page. Do one more rep. Spend one more minute in focus. Choose discipline over comfort one more time. These things are not glamorous, but they are powerful. Because what you do daily, you become permanently. And one day you will look back at yourself and realize you're not the same person anymore. You'll wonder how you got here, how you became so disciplined, so confident, so powerful. And the answer will be clear. You didn't transform overnight. You transformed because you respected the small steps. You honored the process. You were patient enough to let your growth build. So stop waiting for the big breakthrough. Stop searching for motivation that will last forever. It won't. What will last are the choices you make every single day. Don't let the simplicity of 1% fool you. That 1% is the difference between staying stuck in mediocrity or building a life that feels untouchable. Improve yourself just a little today. Improve yourself a little tomorrow, and keep going, because one day you'll realize those small steps weren't small at all. They were everything. Most people fail not because they are weak, not because they lack potential, but because they are addicted to instant results. They want the body now. They want the success now. They want the lifestyle now. And when it doesn't happen in a week, they call it quits. That's not ambition. That's impatience dressed as ambition. Real growth, real transformation is built through discipline, through endurance, through the ability to keep going even when the results are invisible. Discipline is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It's easy to be excited on day one. Anyone can feel motivated in the beginning when the vision is fresh and the idea feels unstoppable. But what happens on day 30 when you're tired, when no one is clapping, when nothing seems to have changed? That's where most people disappear. That's where they prove that their commitment was never real. The truth is, instant gratification destroys more potential than failure ever could. You scroll for quick dopamine hits, you give up because the mirror doesn't change in a week, you stop because success didn't knock on your door overnight. You've been conditioned to expect speed, but speed doesn't create mastery. Endurance does, patience does, and discipline is the bridge between who you are now and who you want to become. Ask yourself, do you actually want to change, or do you just want to feel good about trying? Because if you truly want to change, then you must accept that it will not be glamorous. It will not be fast. It will not be easy. It will be uncomfortable, repetitive, and often boring. But that's the beauty of it. Because when you stick to the process without demanding instant results, you're proving to yourself that you're serious. You're proving that your word to yourself means something. That is where the real power lies. Discipline isn't about punishment. It's about respect. Respect for your future self. Respect for your potential. Respect for the life you want to live. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you are telling yourself, I matter. My future matters. My vision matters. Think about the strongest people you admire. Do you think they got there by quitting when it got hard? Do you think they achieved greatness by needing instant proof of progress? No, they mastered patience. They showed up when it was difficult, when it was inconvenient, when it felt like nothing was changing. They understood that growth doesn't reward impatience, it punishes it. You have to stop confusing quick results with real results. Quick results are fragile. They disappear as fast as they come, but the results built on discipline, on patience, on steady progress, those are unshakable. That's the difference between temporary change and permanent transformation. Discipline is also freedom. People think discipline is restriction, but it's the opposite. Comfort is restriction. Laziness is restriction. Procrastination is restriction. Discipline is what sets you free because it gives you control over your life instead of being controlled by your impulses. The moment you choose discipline over instant gratification, you stop being a slave to your feelings. You stop letting every little distraction control you. You take your power back. And let me be clear, discipline is not something you find, it's something you choose. Every single day, you are faced with a choice. Do I choose what feels good now, or do I choose what builds me for later? Do I choose the comfort of excuses or the discomfort of growth? That choice is always in front of you. And every time you choose discipline, you get stronger. Every time you choose patience, you sharpen your edge. Every time you refuse to settle for instant gratification, you become more powerful. You're not supposed to see the results right away. That's the point. Growth hides from you at first, to test you, to see if you're truly committed, to see if you're serious enough to keep going without applause, without validation, without immediate proof. And the ones who pass that test, the ones who stay disciplined even when nothing is happening, they are the ones who get everything. Stop letting your impatience sabotage your future. Stop demanding instant results like a child. If you want greatness, you need to be willing to wait. You need to be willing to grind in silence, to show up when no one notices, to keep moving when progress feels invisible. That's where the transformation is happening, even if you can't see it yet. Discipline will carry you when motivation dies. And it will die. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. If you rely on motivation, you'll quit the moment it disappears. But if you rely on discipline, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not exhaustion, not silence, not time. So let me ask you, are you willing to be patient enough to see who you can really become? Or will you keep throwing away your potential because you didn't get results fast enough? If you want to win, you need to rewire your mind. Stop craving instant gratification. Stop needing proof today. Build your vision with patience. Build your strength with discipline and understand this truth. The ones who stay consistent always outlast the ones who demand instant results. Always. Because while everyone else quits, you're still standing. While everyone else complains, you're still building. And while everyone else is searching for shortcuts, you're becoming unstoppable. Discipline over instant results. That's how you win. Who you are today is nothing more than the collection of habits you've chosen over and over again. Your identity isn't built in a single moment of inspiration. It's built in the quiet repetition of your daily actions. Every decision you make, every routine you follow, every standard you hold yourself to, they are shaping you into the person you're becoming. And the question is, do those habits align with the version of yourself you claim you want to be? You don't become confident by wishing for confidence. You don't become successful by dreaming of success. You don't become disciplined by talking about discipline. You become those things by practicing them every single day until they're no longer something you do. They're simply who you are. Habits shape identity because they program your mind and body to operate in alignment with your highest self. Think about it. If you wake up late every day, if you procrastinate, if you constantly choose comfort over effort, that becomes who you are. You're training yourself to be weak, to be passive, to be someone who betrays their own goals, and then you wonder why life feels stuck. You wonder why things don't change. The truth is, your habits have already decided your identity before you even get the chance to. But here's the power. If your habits can break you, they can also build you. If small, careless habits turn you into someone you don't want to be, then small, intentional habits can turn you into the version of yourself you've been chasing. That is why habits matter. They are not random actions. They are votes you cast every day for the person you want to become. Every time you choose to work out, you're casting a vote for the identity of a strong, disciplined person. Every time you read, you're casting a vote for the identity of someone who is intelligent and sharp. Every time you wake up early and stick to your word, you're proving to yourself that you are reliable, that you respect your own standards. These choices accumulate until they no longer feel like effort. They simply become who you are. And that's the secret most people ignore. Habits shape your future silently. You don't notice it immediately. You don't wake up one day and suddenly become transformed. No, you just keep stacking those small choices until one day you catch your reflection and realize you are no longer the same person. Your posture is stronger, your presence is louder, your energy is unshakable. That transformation isn't random. It's the result of consistent habits that molded your identity. Most people sabotage themselves because they underestimate the power of small habits. They think skipping a workout doesn't matter. They think wasting one day scrolling doesn't matter. But what they don't see is that every choice is training your identity. You're either training yourself to respect your standards or to break them. You're either building strength or building weakness. Nothing is neutral. Every choice counts. If you want to become someone powerful, you have to start living as that person now. You don't wait until you're successful to develop discipline. You don't wait until you feel confident to walk with confidence. You build the habits first, and the identity follows. Because the more you practice being that person, the more your brain starts to accept it as truth. And once your brain accepts it, that identity becomes natural. It no longer takes effort. It's just who you are.
This is why people who lack habits always feel lost. They're waiting for their identity to change before they take action. They're waiting for confidence to show up before they act boldly. They're waiting for motivation before they show up. But identity doesn't come first. Habits come first. Action comes first. You decide who you want to be, and then you build it through repetition until it becomes reality.
The danger of ignoring this is that you unconsciously build an identity you don't want. If your habits are weak, your identity becomes weak. If your habits are lazy, your identity becomes lazy. And when that happens, you don't just struggle to reach your goals, you struggle to even believe you're capable of them. Because your identity convinces you otherwise. That's how powerful habits are. They don't just change your behavior, they change what you believe about yourself. But the beauty is you can change it right now. You can begin aligning your habits with the person you want to become. And it doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Start with small actions, but commit to them daily. Don't underestimate the power of doing something every single day, even if it's small, because repetition is how you rewire your brain. Repetition is how you reshape your self-image. Repetition is how you take control of your identity. If you want to be confident, build the habit of speaking up, of holding eye contact, of taking care of yourself physically and mentally. You want to be successful? Build the habit of working consistently, of focusing, of eliminating distractions. You want to be disciplined. Build the habit of doing what you said you'd do even when you don't feel like it. That's the formula. Stop waiting, start doing. One day you'll wake up and realize you don't even recognize the old version of yourself anymore. The one who doubted, who procrastinated, who settled for less, that person will feel like a stranger. Because your habits shaped you into someone else, someone stronger, someone unstoppable. And that's the truth you need to understand. Your habits are sculpting your identity, whether you choose to notice it or not. So choose wisely. Choose habits that reflect the future you want. Choose habits that align with your highest self. Because at the end of the day, you don't become what you dream about. You become what you repeatedly do. Consistency is the most underestimated power in existence. People think greatness is born in explosive moments, in sudden breakthroughs, in rare flashes of inspiration. But the truth is, greatness is built quietly, day after day in the ordinary discipline of showing up. Consistency is not glamorous, it's not loud, it's not exciting, but it is unstoppable. One small action today may feel meaningless. You might think one workout doesn't matter, one page read doesn't matter, 1 hour of focus doesn't matter. But when you do it again tomorrow and again the next day, those actions begin to compound. They stack They multiply, they gather force, and soon what once felt small becomes something massive. That's the power of consistency. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. Most people fail, not because they can't change, but because they can't stay consistent. They want results faster than they're willing to work for them. They want to see progress instantly. And when they don't, they quit. But what they don't realize is that progress was building all along. It was happening quietly, invisibly, beneath the surface. They just didn't stay long enough to see it manifest. Consistency is like compounding interest. It starts small, but it grows into something unstoppable if you give it time. You might not see the change after 1 day, 1 week, even 1 month, but keep going and suddenly the shift is undeniable. You've built momentum, and momentum is the most powerful force you can have. It carries you forward even on the days you don't feel like moving. The beauty of consistency is that it doesn't demand perfection. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to get it all right immediately. All you need is to keep showing up, to keep choosing progress over excuses, even if it's messy, even if it's imperfect. Because imperfect consistency will always be perfect inconsistency. Think about it. If you improve just a little bit every single day, those small improvements add up in ways you can't even imagine. 1% a day becomes 30, 65% in a year. That's not just growth. That's transformation. That's the difference between staying stuck in mediocrity and building a life that feels untouchable. But here's the hard truth. Consistency is boring. It's repetitive. It's unglamorous. And that's exactly why most people can't sustain it. They want excitement. They want constant motivation. They want every day to feel like progress is obvious. But consistency doesn't work like that. It hides the results at first to test your patience, to see if you're worthy of the reward. The ones who stay consistent when it's boring, when it's silent, when no one is watching, those are the ones who win. Because they understand that every repetition is an investment. Every small choice is a deposit into their future. And eventually those investments explode into results that no one can ignore. Ask yourself, how many times have you quit right before the breakthrough? How many times have you let impatience rob you of your potential? You started, you felt good, but the results didn't come fast enough, so you stopped. That's why you never reached the life you wanted. Not because you couldn't do it, but because you wouldn't stay consistent long enough to prove yourself. Consistency is not just about action. It's about identity. Every time you show up, you reinforce to yourself, this is who I am. This is what I do. And over time, that identity becomes unshakable. You no longer force yourself to be disciplined. You simply are. You no longer push yourself to take action. You simply do. Because consistency has hardwired it into your being. That's why people who are consistent seem so powerful. It's not that they're superhuman. It's that they've built momentum through discipline. And now that momentum carries them forward naturally. They no longer negotiate with excuses. They no longer battle with laziness. They've trained themselves through consistent action to become the person they wanted to be. And here's what you need to realize. Consistency is the great equalizer. You don't need to be the smartest, the strongest, the most talented. If you can stay consistent, you will outlast everyone else. Talent fades without consistency. Intelligence goes to waste without consistency. Potential means nothing without consistency. So stop chasing intensity and start chasing consistency. Stop waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect motivation. None of that matters if you can't stay consistent. Even small progress done daily will destroy bursts of effort, followed by long periods of nothing. Consistency is how you build respect for yourself. Every time you keep showing up, even when you don't feel like it, you're proving to yourself that your word means something. And when you respect yourself, when you know you'll follow through, that confidence becomes unshakable. People can sense it. They can see it in the way you move, in the way you carry yourself. And the truth is, consistency will make you unstoppable because it's not just about progress. It's about resilience. Life will test you. You'll get tired. You'll get distracted. Things will get hard. But if you've built consistency, you'll keep going anyway. And that persistence is what separates the average from the exceptional. So stop underestimating the power of small, consistent effort. Stop thinking it doesn't matter. It matters more than anything else, because in the end, consistent compounds. And what starts as small actions today will become unstoppable results tomorrow. Keep showing up. Keep moving, keep stacking those days, even when it feels invisible, even when it feels boring, because one day you'll look back and realize it wasn't luck, it wasn't talent, it wasn't some miracle, it was consistency. That was the secret all along.